No! No! Could have been all over. We could have gone about our lives not having to think about this level ever again. But no, nothing ever comes easily for me. Work. This stupid level, no matter how many attempts it freaking takes me. How many drop attempts I get, how many 50 plus attempts I get, how many ending attempts I get. Nothing is ever enough. I'd have to keep playing, and I can't do anything, it feels like. And when I finally get consistency, I immediately lose it all. Practice it, and it's all really easy, and you go from zero, and then you die to the same freaking places over and over, even though you practiced them a million times. Like, watch this, I'm gonna practice this ship part here. I'm gonna do it within a few minutes, easily. Watch. Okay, now I can't do it, because I'm actually awful at this video game. Now, but look here. You get here. See? Easy. No problem. Actually free. Then you're going from zero, and you're at 171 BPM, and you just die. Because you're bad at nerve control, and there's no way to fix it, because it's mostly a genetic thing. And no matter what level you play, something like this will always happen. Every single extreme you get, you're gonna die to the very ending multiple times, just because of nerve control, and there's nothing you can do about it, no matter how much you practice. It's just something you have to live with, and move on with, and everyone makes fun of you and mocks you for it, and you just live. There's nothing that can be done. See how easy that is? Now if only you could just do that from zero! Look, so easy. And then you know that as much as you want to get to the ending, you know as soon as you get to the ship, you're gonna get here and you're gonna die from zero because it's me and it's that ship. And no matter how easy it is, you're still gonna die there. And now we go from zero and we wait another half hour to get a decent attempt just to choke it. Because this first wave is the worst part of any level ever and you just can never pass it. And you just keep playing because you know maybe one day it'll be different, but it won't. It never will. It's been 3 months and nothing has changed. I'm no further off than I was 3 months ago. I got 83 in December, and since then I haven't been able to even get back to 80. I got back to 60 plus once, and as you saw, I choked it to that stupid ship. I could have been spending this time doing anything else, and I would have made the same progress. And then you get a lag spike like that! I can't keep doing this. Every time something good happens, something has to screw it all up. Every time you get forward, whether it's due to sheer incompetence or a lag spike or something, you just die. And you can never finish the stupid level. And move on with your life, and it just sits over you, looming. And everyone always asks you, why can't you just go beat Cataclysm? Oh sure, I'll try. Look what happens. Look what happens. So you take a deep breath. And you relax for a minute. And then you come back and you press the play button and you start playing again. And you actually get into past their drop. And then you immediately die to the drop because this level is the worst level in the entire game. And it's so unbalanced, it's not even funny. And then you spend another 5 minutes and then your AirPods die and you can't even hear the level anymore. And now you have to stop the game to go get the case. And then you don't know where the case is because you lost it because you're an idiot. And then you have to go find it. And then after a minute of looking everywhere, you realize it was right next to you the whole time, and now you have to open the case, and you nearly trip, and your chair nearly kills you, and then you put the AirPod in the case, and it doesn't want to charge. So then you take it out, and you have to clean the contact part of it, and then you have to keep cleaning, and then you have to put it back in the case, and then you hope it actually charges, and then it tells you it's charging, and you put it on your wireless charger, and then you wait half an hour and find out it didn't charge at all. And now you're playing with one AirPod, and the music's really quiet because of that, so you turn it up, but then it's really loud in the recording, and then you can't hear your clicks. And you finally go back to playing the game just to die to the first wave for another 20 minutes. And you finally make it past the wave, but you know you're gonna immediately die to the drop. Like that. And then you go back to the beginning, and now you have to get past that wave again. And you're actually getting consistent at the wave, but everything else is getting less consistent because that's how Cataclysm works. You can never be consistent at everything, only one part. It's either everything else or the wave. You can't have both. And then you die to that part again, even though you did what you were supposed to do, but it just doesn't work this time. And you go back to the beginning, and now you have to get past the wave again. And you do, but then you feel nothing because you know it's not going to be a good attempt anyway. Because you're immediately going to die to something else stupid like this. And you actually don't, but you just know you're going to die to something. And no attempt feels rewarding anymore. Like that, you die to something stupid that's totally in your control, but you're just bad at the video game. And you have to get past the wave again because you suddenly lost your consistency, apparently. And then you have to keep playing it, and you go through the beginning over and over, in the easy beginning, and then the stupid wave. And then Google Meet tries to kick you out of the call. And so you have to tell it you don't want to get kicked out of the call because apparently someone's coming to support me, but it's been half an hour and I'm starting to lose hope. And then you die to the beginning of the game, of the cube, because you're actually stupid. And you actually get past the wave again, but you know you're just gonna die to the beginning of the drop. Just like that. So then you have to go back to the wave. But first you have to get through the boring cube part that no one ever dies to except for me because I'm an idiot. And then you die to the wave, and then you have to go back to the beginning, and over and over and over. And you're starting to wish you had just never played this level ever. But you're so far along that you just feel like you need to finish it because everyone keeps telling you, oh, why don't you finish Cataclysm? Well, this is why. Do you see what is happening to me right now? I've been talking to myself for half an hour. This is not normal. And you know that even if you do get the completion, whenever you upload it, people are just gonna call you insane for talking to yourself the entire time, but this is what this level does to you. Get used to it. And you realize you're talking to yourself in the second person, which is really weird, but what are you gonna do? And you have a sudden realization that maybe this level isn't good. Maybe it's a bit unbalanced. Maybe the gameplay is poorly designed. Maybe since it was hacked, there was no thought put into it at all, and it was just made to be hard and look flashy. And yet everyone always says, oh, beat Cataclysm as your first extreme. No, don't. You're better off beating like Tidal Wave than Cataclysm. At least that looks somewhat fun. This is just misery. Play anything else. Literally anything. This is even my first extreme, but I still feel like I'm not ready for it. Despite clearly having put in the time I would need. And even when you do beat it, you realize you're just gonna feel hollow because this level has taken so much out of you that you're not even gonna care that you beat it, you're just gonna be happy it's over with. You won't feel proud, you'll just feel annoyed that it took this long. And until then, you feel even worse because you feel like a failure because you can't do the level even though it seems easy and you have so much progress on it, but you just can't put it all together and finish the stupid thing. And you're stubborn, so you keep playing the level even though you should be taking a break, but no, you have to keep playing the level because maybe this time will be different, maybe this attempt you'll actually do something. But of course you won't, because it's Cataclysm! And you go back to playing, but you realize you have to do dishes in like an hour, so you actually don't have somewhat of a time frame to finish this stupid level. It's gonna be looming over you the rest of the day. Because after you do the dishes, you have to leave for a few hours, and then by the time you get back, you won't want to play Cataclysm anymore, because it'll be about time for you to go to bed. And so now with the time frame, it's even more stressful, and you fail even more because you're stressed. And you can't even get past the first wave anymore, ever. Despite how easy it is, and then you die to the first click because you're an idiot. And you just wish it would be all over with. You could just not think about this anymore. But you know that's never gonna happen. And you actually make it back to the drop, but then you die immediately to a stupid click that you should be able to get past because you never die there. And you make it back, but you know you're just gonna die right away again. And then you die to that ship, even though you haven't died there at all today, but now suddenly you do. And then you check to see if your AirPod charged, and actually did, so that's good. So you keep playing while it charges. And now you have to go for that first wave again. And you'd think Big Wave would be helpful, and it slightly is, but still doesn't make it easy. And now you just can't do the first wave anymore, because this is how Cataclysm works. It's everything else or the wave. You have to pick what you're consistent at, except, oh wait, you can't pick, the level picks for you. Which means now I'm not going to be consistent at anything else, because I'm consistent at that wave, suddenly. Like that, I die there, even though I've never died there before, ever. And then you die to the first wave because it turns out consistency was a myth anyways. And you die there again because even though that part's the easiest part of the level, somehow you're bad. Except it's not a surprise because clearly you're just awful at this game because everyone else can beat this level but clearly you can't. No matter how much you try, no matter how many attempts you put in, you just can't do it. It's not that hard and you're decently consistent at most of it, but for some reason whenever you go from zero, you're not. And you wish you could take a break, but you won't allow yourself to because then you feel like a failure and like you're not actually doing what you should be. Still, after 45 minutes, nobody has joined you even though multiple people said they would. And then you die to that ship again because suddenly you're not consistent at it anymore despite being incredibly consistent at it earlier. So then you go into practice mode so you can go play it again. But first you have to get through all of this garbage even though you know you can do it, but you gotta get there just so you can get to the point you actually want to practice because I don't want to find a start position copy because I'm lazy. And then suddenly in practice mode you do everything perfectly, like watch this. Okay, Okay, you die there, but you still got a better attempt than 90% of your attempts every time you go into practice mode, because that's just the way it is. But you know it wouldn't count if you did in practice mode, because nobody counts for one-attempt practice runs, because they're stupid. So then you get back here, and now you're dying to this part, even though you never die there. It just prolongs the time until you can get to the part you actually want to practice, even though you're good with these parts and you don't want to practice them, but then it makes you second guess if you actually are good with them. And you finally get back to the part you do want to practice. And now you're bad at it for some reason. And there you go, then you beat it. And you do really good at everything following it, which gives you a false sense of confidence and makes you feel ready to go from 0, but in reality, you're never ready to go from 0. And now you're suddenly consistent in that part again, even though you only played it for like 5 times, but now you can suddenly do it like 50% of the time again. If not, because that's how Cataclysm works. I don't claim to understand it, I just play it. Back here. Which seems like the easiest part in the level, but still, you die here way too much, especially there, but now you do it just fine first attempt in practice mode, because that's how it works every time. Same with this part, where you just easily do it, even though it's the hardest part of the level. And then you go back to 0. And you actually get past the wave for once. And then you die there, even though you haven't died there all day, despite getting there like 50 times. And you're suddenly consistent at the wave again, which means everything else is not going to be consistent, because that's how Cataclysm works. And then you die to the ball again, because you're overthinking it, and you're thinking too hard about it, and when you don't think about it is when you actually do it. And now you're suddenly stupidly consistent at wave, which is why you got inconsistent in the ball part, because you switch consistency. And then you die to the ship again, even though you practiced it for 5 minutes. So you go back into practice mode, now you have to get past all this stuff again. Of course, you actually have a good attempt, because every practice mode attempt is good, so you just let it ride from here. And you die there, but still, one of your best attempts was a practice attempt, because that's how it always works. And this ball gives you no issues, because clearly it's not hard, you're just bad. And you pass the ship first try, because that's how it works when you practice the level. And you pass it again, and you pass it a 3rd time in a row out of 3 times. And it's not hard, you're just bad. And you pass it again, and now you just can't do it all of a sudden. And then you do it again, but you don't know what you're doing differently each time, so you can't figure out the consistent strategy. And you keep dying to that part of the cube because you're overthinking it. Now you're back to the ball. And of course you die there, because even though it seems free, it's not. And you die there because you held. Even though you didn't mean to, you held for half a second too long, which is too much. And you finish the ship part, so you feel good to go from 0, but you want to finish that run, and then you die to something easy right as you say that, so then you go back to 0. And now that you keep dying to the ending, you lose a lot of confidence, but you don't want to keep playing it because you don't want to prolong the experience. And then you switch AirPods because your one's about to die. And you have to wait for it to connect because AirPods never want to connect. And then it connects, so when you switch them, and now you put your other one in the case, but now it doesn't want to charge, so you coin off the contact points, and then you put it in, and you wait for the light to flash, and then it does, so then you think it's charging, but you just wait an hour and it won't be charged. And your left ear is your worst ear, so you can hardly hear it all now, and it makes you lose focus. Now you consistent the wave again suddenly, which means everything else is going to lose consistency, yay, like that. And then now you're not consistent at the wave anymore. And you haven't had a really good attempt in like an hour, but you keep holding on because you think that somehow you'll be able to do it, but you won't. And you actually get a good attempt. And then you immediately choke it because you're the worst at the game ever! So then you go back to 0 again. And now you have to get past the wave. And you do because you traded your wave consistency, except never mind because you're actually washed. So then you go back to 0 again. And now you're not consistent at all because that's how Cataclysm works. And now you can't even do the first cube break because you're bad. And you can't even do the first part of the first wave. And now you still can't do the first wave. And you still can't do it, and you start to realize maybe playing this level was a bad idea, but you have to finish what you started, because otherwise everyone's gonna mock you for it, and dying to the ending, and if you don't have a completion. Oh, and someone finally wants to join me!